Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well. I am quite tired this morning, but I'm very excited to see all of you. And I have a special shirt today since we're playing Coteries of New York. I can't believe you guys have made this into a thing, but I love all of you for it. Chat's already started. So, yes, I have the Vade shirt. But let's just go ahead and get started with Chethany Night 5, our failed Night 1 sitting there forever mocking us. Lockable Vade emo, oh my god. Okay, so we're at the midday. We agreed to not really focus on Agathon or Tamika. I think at some point we'll have to do those, but let's go back to D'Angelo. Gift that keeps on giving. It's been a while since you heard from D'Angelo. Maybe he's busy, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. Or maybe he pissed off the wrong people, is now rotting in a ditch somewhere. Either way, now's as good a time as any to check up on him. Yeah, let's do that. You're making your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and up the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find it firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan the crooked lettering. Ooh, lettering. Oh, hey, hold on. Let me fix the... There we go. Got game audio back up. So you rip it off and scan the crooked lettering. There's been another one. At the scene now. Come to Bed-Stuy. Corner of Pulaski and Garvey. ASAP. Why does he... Why does his handwriting look like Chicken SpongeBob? Looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going. As you approach the address D'Angelo gave you, a squad car passes you by, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from DeKalb Avenue onto Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light and the 4 or so police cars parked on the nearest corner, next to an ambulance. Confirm that you're... Oh. Sorry, that sentence is really long and got weird there. Can y'all hear the game sound? Okay. My mixer's acting weird, so I didn't know if y'all could hear the sirens and everything. You move closer to what appears to be New York's finest convention, looking around in the hopes of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo was nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street, trying not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance to the building looks straight at you. He does a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move. You think to yourself as you notice him making his way towards you. Ah. Calmly wait for him to approach, because I feel like we'll get some sassy dialogue options that way. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across... I'm sorry, the use of the word waddles. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. Mm-hmm. You try to remain calm, even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit. You can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Suddenly he stops, as if instinctively realizing that he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent, which I cannot do. Oh, they made the cop attractive, too. No. ACAP. Fuck this cop. Hey, this here's an active crime scene. Be on your way. Relieved, but trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. I'm pretty sure with a Brujah, that's just their face. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigars and cheap cologne don't give him away, the gravelly voice sure does. Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around here in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner. Yeah, we don't all have obfuscate, D'Angelo. I will say, anytime that I have played a vampire that didn't have obfuscate, I feel lost as hell. I'm just like, I don't know how to do anything now. Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan parked a half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. That is the ultimate ACAB response. We could take him. Oh, this is a weird choice to make. I feel like feeding opportunity is really just gonna lead us straight to a dead end. We're gonna game over. So should I talk to him, or should D'Angelo, like, sneak about? Y'all help me decide that, because I have no idea. I don't know which option would be best. And it still cracks me up to go from, like, playing Animal Crossing to this. Which is pretty much my storyteller mood, because I DM a D&D game with like 8 players on Monday, and then I am storyteller for ATL by night on Tuesdays. And so it's just, I go from like a fun fantasy world to like dark vampire stuff. Okay, so y'all are voting sneaky, so we're gonna do sneaky. Hey, how about you do your shadowy skulky thing? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside. Shadowy skulky thing? Jesus, kid. Childish phrasing aside, it's as good approach as any, I guess. Without another word, he gets out of the car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. A minute passes, then another one, and another. You begin to worry. What if there were more cops inside? What if your moldy partner has gotten himself into trouble? Suddenly, a shadowy silhouette appears in one of the windows on the second floor. Looks like he made it after all. At least, you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points to the corner of the building, opposite the 2 cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you find a fire escape ladder has been conveniently dropped for you. Good work, D, you mumble to yourself as you climb to the second floor. Finding the crime scene proves easy. Oh! His gift, our fate. I don't know if y'all could see that with my camera. That is... no bueno. No bueno. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the police yellow tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room. Wow, yeah, this living room is trashed. Did someone go out the window? Or is that just like a broken TV? I can't tell. The place has been completely trashed, knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. Oh, thank you. It reads, His gift, our fate. You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Okay, so we're calling these crooked letters, but that's some decent penmanship given that they're writing in blood. Like, easily legible. Look, murderer, you've got better handwriting than we're giving you credit for. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on his cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean over a bit, trying not to make it obvious that you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue. The night's been kind to them so far, but the questions kept piling on. Now they found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers. Suddenly he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him. Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch your eye? Let's say another piece of graffiti. His gift, our fate. Yeah, there's that. What do you think it means? It's about Kane. Like, that's the obvious answer. I don't know if Chethany knows about Kane. He was told, wasn't he? Didn't someone tell him about Kane? I won't say Kane if he doesn't know it, but that's the obvious answer. Also, yeah, the murderer has better handwriting than I do, too. I don't remember him being told about Kane, but I thought he had been. Sorry, trying to sit cross-legged in a gamer chair is dang near impossible. Oh, yeah, maybe that was Lamar and Benoit. It was. Okay, he doesn't know about Kane, so we're gonna be a dumb bitch. Our fate. Am I the only one getting an apocalyptic vibe from this? No, Chethany. No, you're not. This is about the gift of Cain, as in our vampirism, our fate. Clearly someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it, I hate where this is going. Which is... I mean, like, I know, but maybe you should just say it for the viewers. Which is... me being right about the thin blood involvement, I mean. Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body. Oh, I kind of want to, like, accuse him. Like, are you protecting Thin Bloods? Because you and Homeboy had something? Even though he has a wife and family. Yeah, let's accuse him. You have a thing for Thin Bloods, D? Because it looks like you're desperately trying to prove they're not involved with this. Look, kid. The Duskborn have shitty luck as it is. If I'm going to accuse one of them of the breach in the Masquerade, the least I can do is some goddamn due diligence. You know. He's got a point. Like, if this was, let's say a Ventru, a rich-ass Ventru, they would just be like, we'll take care of him. He's a little off the rails. We got him. But a Thin Blood, they'll be like, nope, dead. The end. That's it. No quarter. He shoots you a scornful look. Like a goddamn detective would. I'm sorry, I'm laughing through so many of D'Angelo's lines because he's just so cool. I really like him. He mumbles to himself for a short while, but ultimately he regains his composure and his train of thought. Luckily for us, I might know someone who can get us an audience with our dearly departed. Of course he can. To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone, a busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes a call. Oh, he and Cirrus have the same phone. Hey, you know who this is. Yeah, that favor you owe me? Time to deliver. Listen, I got a fresh one. The murder in Bed-Stuy. I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you'd better. With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. I almost said Ree. I watched too much JoJo. Alright. I mean, we got our phone taken away from us, so maybe let's ask that dumb bitch question. Wait, aren't cell phones an issue for the Camarilla? Only if you tell them. Here, I feel like y'all can't fully enjoy the Vatty shirt with this camera angle. Let me try something. Let's see if I can move my camera. Can I? Oh, then it's only Vatty shirt. Let me move. Ah! I'm sure this is riveting content right now. Alright, that's a little bit better. At least you guys can see it now. Okay. D'Angelo is sassier than we are, and I feel Chethany does not appreciate. Look, kid, I don't use it willy-nilly, alright? It's for special occasions. You don't always have time to throw fucking rocks at windows. Can you live with that? Or should I worry about being sent to the principal's office? God damn it. I can't keep a straight face. D'Angelo's so cool. He's starting to, like, influence us. We can say things that are super detective-y. Relax, D. I'm not gonna rat on you. He shoots you a smile. For some reason, it seems less crooked than usual. Hey, a friend. Good to know, kid. Anyway, it looks like my guy's gonna come through. Next stop, Kings County. Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kindred to show their face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, being inside a hospital would be, like, not a good idea. Because people immediately could be like, you look like a corpse. You good, buddy? You good? I'm trying to make sure you can read the text. So I grew up in the 90s, and I had so many of my t-shirts, like, off the shoulder, like this, left over from the 80s. So I was like, I need my Vatty shirt to look like that. I might just cut it to where it can be off both shoulders. There we go. Okay. Especially the sort that make up the very essence of a vampire's existence. For instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County Morgue. But the question is, did you have the 80s hair? So, I was born in the mid-80s and then grew up mostly in the early 90s. So, I didn't have, like, super big teased out hair, but what I did have, and most 90s people should remember this, I had the very feathered, like, circular bangs. Like, where you would take, like, a roll brush and just, like, feather them out, and it would be like this chrysanthemum of hair that made up bangs, and that was me. I did have a very punk, like teased out mohawk when I was younger. My mother did that hairstyle for far too long. I had the feathered bangs. I had like a very neat and tight bob for a while because I grew up like I had a record player when I was a kid. So I had music from like the 70s and the 60s and the 50s. So I was super obsessed with that old aesthetic. And so I would have like this really tight bob with the feathered out bangs. And I looked ridiculous. Old pictures of me are so embarrassing. But I crack up because it's so familiar. I had the big poofy sleeves. I had sundresses with the little like denim jackets. I had jeans that rolled up at the bottom, and the girls I knew had huge hair. We all looked ridiculous then. I think we all looked amazing then. Like, it's so bad, but it's good because like it was a lot of very ridiculous things, but we all thought we looked amazing. Like, look at the was it like the MTV Video Music Awards from like the 90s. Ooh, some of that fashion and just like coating yourself in bronzer and looking like an Oscar statue while wearing, blue eyeshadow up to your eyebrows. I saw a picture recently that was it was a picture of a lighter and an eyeliner pencil, and it was like, if she didn't know the relationship between these, she's too young for you. And I'm sure some people in this chat are gonna to get the smoky eye look, you would like lightly melt the tip of your pencil and smudge it. Ultra low rise jeans that barely covered everything. Yep. Yep. I had a lot of tank tops and low rise jeans that had flares at the bottom because the flare would give me like some kind of like a shape to my scrawny kid self. And I had a lot of like, my hair was usually like this, but I would commonly do like two tiny little pigtails up top. And that was my regular look. I didn't have too many different fashions. Oh god, the big Genko jeans. Yes. Ah. All those damn t-shirts with the cut in the middle of the collar. Yep, where you would cut like the slit. Butterfly clips were amazing. Just overused, yeah. I loved butterfly clips. I also loved the I don't know if they probably still make these. 80s and 90s girls will know what I'm talking about because they were the fashion for us. They're like little teeth combs that are in a circle, and you would like put it around your neck, and then you would pull it up, and it would like push your hair back like with the comb, and then you would just like style your hair out. You put like a little bit of glitter in the little pulled back parts of hair. Oh my god, I used to put so much glitter in my hair. Yeah, okay, so you know about the little hair combs. Yes. Oh man, I loved those things. I'd have them in every color. Stretchy zigzag headband things, yeah. Hey, y'all remember Libby Lou? I don't. That might have been after my generation. It might have been after my time. I think you're a little bit younger than me, Pixie Queer. Oh yeah, vampire game. We should keep playing that. I just need to do one of these streams where it's just like just chit chatting. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then, you glance over at the undead gumshoe as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't, or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, The 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back and make sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and exclaims, seemingly to no one in particular, "Room 112, you got 20 minutes. D'Angelo speaks without looking at you. That's our cue. You follow the fanged detective through the same door the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear he's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of the doors, room 112. That's your stop. Ugh. I I am unusually squeamish for the amount of things that I'm involved in. Let's just say. Alright. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall, and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on a steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face, his features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you'll notice 2 small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you've yet to see it. Looking over at D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a similar fashion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. I feel I feel like Chethany is really getting into the whole detective thing. Like, he's starting to really enjoy this. Let's see. What's a good option? Yeah, 2 sounds like the dumb bitch option, which is while Chethany. I also feel like, yeah, 1 is wannabe detective, which might be his thing. I can't get this to show Vatty straight. Okay. Let's just do this. No, I was gonna say, it sounds like the dumb option, but I feel like, it's a clue, and he would appreciate the clue. I feel like option 1, we're trying to sound like D'Angelo. Let's do teeth marks. Those marks on his neck. Is that what I think it is? Yep, good eye, kid. It's official. Our killer is Kindred. Look at his face, though. Sheer terror. He was fully aware all the way through. Killing aside, no Kindred worth their salt would allow that to happen. Unless they didn't even know better. This confirms it. We're looking for a thin blood. Fuck. As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in, with his eyes fixated on his clipboard. He doesn't appear to notice you. Yet. He said we had 20 minutes! Hide, lie, or get him? If we feed on him in a hospital, that feels like we are going to get caught. But okay. Y'all are helping me choose, so okay, everyone says feeding opportunity. Letting your instincts take over, you pounce on the unsuspecting doctor, plunging your fangs into his aorta. The precious liquid tastes sickeningly sweet, making you feel a bit lightheaded. It appears the good doctor has been getting high on his own supply. Uh-oh. It takes you a moment to get your fill, but once you're finally done, you immediately feel D'Angelo's eyes upon you. You start coming up with an excuse, but he just smirks. You're quick, kid, I'll give you that. Beat me to... D'Angelo! Beat me to the... I can't, y'all. y'all. D'Angelo's too much. Uh. So I thought noticing the teeth marks would be useful because Kinder do that thing where they lick the wound and it goes away, but those are still there. Yeah, which also adds to the confirmation that this is a thin blood. Now come on, let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit. Hi, Robert! I know you said to not come by here again, but... It appears that the thin blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than to arouse suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like time for subtlety is over. Also, that's so dramatic. Just like, oh, I'm just gonna... I love how extra D'Angelo is. It only takes a couple minutes for Larson to notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front in D'Angelo's face. Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've had just about enough of your shit. You want to pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it. For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost. Are you finished? All right. Now you listen to me and listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than to hang around this little puppet theater you made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget. For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless. His eyes wide with fear, he can only mutter under his breath. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to another. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. We're Brujah. We're sassy. We gotta tell him to spit it out. Come on, Larson. Just give us something. It's been a rough night. See, Robert? My assistant here is tired of your shit, too. So what's it gonna be? If you want my help, put me the fuck down. With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity. There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side. One of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter. Yeah, I know it. If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for. D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make him uncomfortable. We'd better. Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You watch Larson limp back into the house, looking back over his shoulder like he's going to tell the teacher on you. You look to your partner, meaning to ask what that whole things you'd rather forget deal was, as if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts it with a preemptive mutter. Come on, we got what we came for. As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You'd think it abandoned if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if ever there was a place of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it. Ah, the reference. Ah. Never seen a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Oh no. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. D'Angelo leans over and whispers in your ear. I'll cover the back door. You stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find. Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadows. Should we look around quietly? I feel like we should look quietly just because D'Angelo's being sneaky snake as well. What should we do? The balance of being a dumb bitch while also, like, I don't want to fail these parts because this is new for us since we're following new people. This is completely new story. So I don't want us to miss out on anything. Let's look around quietly. Doing your best to blend in with the crowd, which is fairly difficult considering your upright position, you slowly make your way across the large room. Not really knowing what you're looking for, you focus on the details. A knowing smirk, a hateful stare, anything that looks even the slightest bit suspicious. After a dozen or so empty stares, you're almost ready to give up when suddenly something catches your eye. A young, skinny woman hunched in the corner of the room. She gives you a bewildered look, a 1,000-yard stare that tells you beyond the shadow of a doubt it's her. Uh-oh. As you walk towards her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you. Nice catch. He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravelly timbre, it's not really working out. Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk. No, don't talk. Too loud. Too loud. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender. All right, you like quiet? Got it. Can you tell me your name? Santa. That's what he called me. Suddenly you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look towards the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation somehow, you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously without even knowing it. What's a girl like you doing in a place like this? I mean, we do sound nervous. That sounds like a nervous guy response. Like, yeah, I want to say that one. As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out. Well, it doesn't matter what we chose. As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious species of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift, and she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. Oh, this is a wife! Oh, what a look. I am in love. God, I love her hair. Also, Coteries of New York really said redhead rights. Like, there have been so many redheads in this game. my god, I love her. Okay, okay. You. Hey, Val. That's my assistant you got there. Do you mind? She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen, and you awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll. Where is she? You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling. Don't play coy, Ginny. The manslayer. I know she's here. A blood hunt has begun. By order of the prince herself. The girl is to meet her final death. Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too. Look, sweetie. I'm not here for some clip measuring contest. You want this to get ugly, be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job. By all means. He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look at the corner where you last saw Sana, but find no trace of the girl. Well, I'll be. I could swear she was just here. You gave her a hope but scary voice. She feels like a hope but scary. Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this. Story of my life. Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction. Come on, kid. Let's get out of this shithole. As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost. Okay, kid. I know you've got questions, but it's getting early. And I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count. Ooh. We gotta make it count, guys. Y'all help me choose a good question. We can ask him about Valerie, which I think I know who Valerie is since she said do her job. So, there could be some fun information there. I have a feeling he doesn't know where the girl went just because we were, you know, abusing his ex-boyfriend to get the information. This shirt does not want to lay flat because I have a shirt under it. What do we do now sounds like a kind of dumb question. Two just feels like although he did take his sweet time while we were distracting Val. Yeah. Sorry, D'Angelo's voice hurts my throat just a little bit. And I'm trying not to shotgun back a pack of Asiago and cheddar crisps. This is kind of the dumb bitch response. But also I feel like we're going to get some good lore if we ask who Valerie is, because I think Valerie might be the Scourge. Or Scourge, however you pronounce it. But I think Valerie's the Scourge. I kind of... If she's the Scourge, that's cool as shit! Let's see. I'm gonna give you guys a second to help me choose. So we got one vote for saying, do you know where the girl went? Smolyan. This is one of the few choices where I really don't know what's the best option. Cause cause I know how it feels like it's gonna go. Um, let's just ask about Valerie, cause I want to get that lore. Valerie, huh? Who the hell is she? Yay! I guessed right. She's a scourge kid. Part enforcer, part assassin. All around pain in the ass. She finds that girl before we do. We'll never find out why she did what she did. And before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. And no, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid, I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure some stuff out and keep looking for our girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two. Yeah, see, since he said keep looking, I'm glad we didn't choose 2, because he would have been like, I don't know. And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It's been a really rough night. You ever have a night so rough you just don't obfuscate? Does our boy D'Angelo have history with just the entire Camarilla? I want to believe so. I want to believe D'Angelo is like a boy version of a Cleopatra. Is haha, Biotic has joined. Yes, the t-shirts. I'm realizing in talking about this that there is no term for a boy Cleopatra, and now I'm annoyed. Because a Cleopatra, for those that didn't join the Bloodlines stream, a Cleopatra is a woman who had a very shitty personality but was very pretty and in human life, and so they get turned into a Nosferatu to sort of teach them a lesson. A big example of that is Amalia, who has a super fucked up face, and are the boy Narcissus. His name was Ptolemy. The boys may be called Narcissus. I'm not sure. Ooh, that's a fun word with a lisp. I'm not sure. I know that, like, the girls, it is, like, Cleopatra. That's the colloquial. I can't think of, like, one for guys that's so widely used. I will say, the Vati printed much larger than I thought on the shirt, so this is interesting. Alright. So we gotta go to sleep. Let's take a rest. Oh, Gregory. Not long after you wake up tonight, Gregory knocks on the door of your apartment. Hey, I came to pick you up. Miss Langley wants to see you. What if I don't want to see her? I feel like that's the actual sassy option. When we play Ventru, when we do the Ventru route, we'll be like blatantly antagonistic of Sophie. Those last 2 nights were nice. I had freedom, initiative. Good while it lasted, I guess. He smiles apologetically. Don't shoot the messenger. Car's waiting. Shall we? You wrestle with the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you should just leave. Disappear. Let Sophie find somebody else to employ. But then you remember the Anarch thug being cut down by Kadir, and how close you were to the safe. Almost as if we have another save file where that happened. And that it might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked onto one of the paintings in the room. Sorry, my throat just went, you really just did D'Angelo at 10 o'clock in the morning? Yes, I did. You're pretty sure it was here earlier, but she's behaving as if she's seeing it for the first time in her life, entirely entranced. Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to the both of you, a bit of irritation in her countenance that soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. You're here? Excellent. Thank you, Gregory. Yeah, it's really hard to do Sophie's voice after doing D'Angelo. Her driver leaves and she turns her attention to you. I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances, but I have to say, I'm happy to see you, Chethany. I'll get it. Hold on. Hold on. Alright, I think I got it back. I'm happy to see you, Chethany. Thank you for coming. Nope, that still doesn't feel right. Sorry, my throat feels weird. The change in the mood of the room is so sudden and startling, it makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally, you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language all feel 100% genuine and expressing legitimate interest in you and your well-being. I have a request for you this night. I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery. She points to the statue at the side of the room. You notice a plain-looking flash drive lying on the... Oh, hey, we know this one. Where the inanimate archer's bow touches the pedestal. The man you'll be looking for calls himself Kaiser. He has eyes and ears all over New York. It's rare for something to happen without his knowledge. I need you to take this flash drive and bring it to him. In exchange, he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible. Brujah Nosferatu Solidarity playthrough. That's literally what this is. You're about to ask what's on the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you. Oh, don't worry about the contents. They are encrypted, a precaution for if the data falls into the wrong hands. I can't pronounce anything. But it won't, correct? She gives you a smile just a handful of nights ago would have made you feel like melting. Oh, and Chethany? Kaiser is a Nosferatu, that twisted, deformed lineage of kindred. He is old, and his age has made him even more paranoid than others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens and changes them often. From what I've gathered, he or one of his servants should be found at the park at Coney Island tonight. You'll have to identify them somehow. I'm told Kaiser spends many of his nights these past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep an eye out for it. Yeah, I've lost her voice completely with doing D'Angelo so much. A smile again, but much shorter. Why do you need to trade with him? Can't you just request the information given your connections? Kaiser doesn't care about my or anyone's position. He considers information as valuable as blood and makes it a point to never share it for free. He only deals with people who have something to offer, but trust me. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear that. My home is like on the direct trajectory path of geese. I guess just geese migration, and my house is right in the dead center of it. And so every day, just around this time, sometimes a little later in the afternoon, just a loud ass group of geese goes by. And I don't know if you guys could hear it, but I certainly just could over everything. She picks up the flash drive and puts it on your palm. I have more than enough means to grab his attention. She flashes one last smile at you and turns back to the painting. Clearly done with the conversation, you pocket the flash drive and head out towards Coney Island. It takes you the better part of an hour to reach the lights and sounds of the Coney Island amusement park from the city. The drive is almost pleasant this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. There are plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. Then again, if they did stand out, it would be kind of pointless, right? Nothing to do but figure out the right approach. This game really loves Belt Parkway. I don't know anything about New York, so I don't know if it's a joke. Um, is it a joke that like fuck Belt Parkway? I don't know. These Coney Island sounds are distressing. Nothing to do but figure out the right approach. Search for signs of Kaiser. There are plenty of nooks and crannies to investigate around here, but if Kaiser frequents this area, there has to be some kind of clue to grab onto, right? You spend a good hour snooping around, eyes peeled for the black limo Sophie mentioned, or any sign that a Nosferatu or any vampire have their haven in these parts. Around these parts. Zilch. Huh. Annoyed, you turn back towards the lights of the amusement park, only to find a man standing in your way. Wearing an oversized jacket, he has the air of a junkie or dealer about him. Who knows what he's got in those pockets. Hey, our homeboy. You lost? Maybe. Was it to you? We know we're looking for someone. Was Chethany a name dropping bitch? Do we want to just say Kaiser? Bunch of different options. Oh. Everyone wants the New York answer. Alright. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. What's it to you? What kind of answer is that? You a spook? A fed? Chethany name drops Sophie to get her in trouble, not for clout. That's right. He looks at you intently, like he's trying to guess your real purpose here. Get out of here before I kick your ass. This is the sassy answer. And since we know that this is Kaiser's guy, let's see, Belt is traffic nightmare, but it's the only car way to get to cross Brooklyn and Queens in full without side streets. But it's got some pretty views. Oh, okay. Sure, man, whatever you say. Just tell me if you know a guy named Kaiser and I'll be on my way. Nah, I don't know who that is. He's a terrible liar, clearly full of shit. And here we name drop Sophie to get her in trouble. Listen, I was sent here by Sophie Langley. She has something for Kaiser. I need to contact him and hand it over. Nothing more to it. Don't know her, and I told you already, I don't know who Kaiser is either. He sees the doubt in your face. Fuck it, stay right here. He produces his phone. It's a fancy model. Doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. Unlocks it, dials a number, 2 tones go by, a voice on the other end. Sorry to bother you again, boss. Yeah, I know how much you need your alone time. That sounds very nice. There's somebody here who wants to see you. They're with Langley? Sophie Langley, yeah. A string of loud obscenities filled the phone. The man winces and pushes it away from his ear, and then the call stops. Almost immediately, a chime. The Count's laugh from Sesame Street. Wow. Oh. Oh. I forgot about that part. Sorry, the wording on the sentence. Weird. Kaiser needs to ghoul some better liars. Yeah. I just love that, like, when he gets a text message from Kaiser, it just goes, He's, on his way. Don't go anywhere. The inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge, the kind with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but currently has none of that. Instead, there are monitors and consoles. I don't understand. Maybe I am vanilla, something no one would ever accuse me of. But how big does a car have to be to fit a stripper pole inside of it? I don't understand. I will probably go on a downward spiral of a Google search later. But that caught my attention last time, and even now, it doesn't make sense. A stretch Hummer is still, like, not that tall on the inside. Like, maybe it's a tiny stripper pole. They still gotta have, like, room to move. Like, I know people who are exotic dancers. I don't feel like they would have any room inside of a car. Even a stretch Hummer. Maybe it's tiny strippers. Just like pixies. It's just, I'm gonna go on a Google search because it makes no, unless, like, it would only make sense in, like, a party bus. But he doesn't have a party bus, he has a limo. Now, if it was like if he had a former tour bus, that I would buy. But, limo buses apparently have them, but they didn't say it was a bus. I'm gonna go on a bad Google search later. There are dozens of displays, each one showing something different. Surveillance camera footage, stock market quotes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything while surrounded by all this visual noise and then realize nobody's there. Or is there? A man blinks into existence on a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates a regal presence. You're 100% sure it's Kaiser. Surrounded by dimly lit computer screens, his features are even more ghastly than you imagined. All sharp angles and twisted bone, mangled flesh, and crooked teeth. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. The doors close behind you. Okay, look at this. Look at this setup. There's not enough room for a stripper. I will retract that this looks as big as a bus now that we're looking at it. Because of the TV size. And the seat that's in the front here. This seat is like a bus seat. There is not enough room for a stripper in here. Unless maybe just he converted it. Yeah, looking at it now, I can see the actual size of it. I think because Kaiser's sprite, when it's about to appear, is so big that it made this look much smaller. Also, the sounds of Coney Island outside are still stressing me out with the random screams. Can I do a second Nosferatu voice in a day? So, that waste of good blood outside tells me Sophie Langley sent you, huh? You got something for me? I don't remember what voice I gave him. Throat hurts too much. I know Coney Island has rides. It's just some of those screams are so blood-curdling. You reluctantly pull the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser. He plugs it into a USB port on the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happens to be turned away from you. It takes him a minute to access the data. Who do you people think I am? I saw this footage a week ago. He removes the flash drive and throws it back at you in disgust. Tell Sophie the deal's off. She wants her address, she can give me something else. Give me a break is very Chethany. Come on, give me a break. How could we have known that you'd already seen this material? He gives you a patronizing look. Kid, you're new here, so I'll pretend I didn't hear that. You want your address, you're gonna have to work for it. I have just the idea. Yeah, something appropriate for an eager fledgling like you. More on that soon. Stay tuned. Now get the fuck out. Kaiser's watching stuff. Is Kaiser watching stuff, or is Kaiser watching a live feed of a situation that he is currently dealing with? Just my thought. Alright. Pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. The opaque windows slide past you, and soon the limo is on its way. See, it keeps calling it a car, which is why I was like, what the fuck do you mean there's a stripper pole in there? There's no room. God, just that random, it's this one random scream that happens that is just disturbing me. Kaiser's lackey is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way to the car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. Hey! Hope and D'Angelo. Which one? We are avoiding Spooky Boy. Let's do Hope. We haven't done her. My voice needs a break. Alright. We gotta go help Hope with her errands. When you get to the Internet Cafe, Hope is already waiting out front. The sight catches you off guard. A part of you suspected that she might be more of a shut-in, my haven is my castle type. Perfect timing. We need to go for a ride. Get in, get in, get in! She doesn't wait for your response and jumps behind the wheel of a lavender vintage roadster instead. The engine starts roaring expectantly, causing everyone's heads to turn. Okay, Hope has fucking style. Alright. Not wanting to attract the needless attention, you quickly slip into the back seat of the car. The moment you shut the door behind you, the vehicle sets off, tires screeching. Sorry for not bringing you up to speed first, but hey, this is NYC. Everyone's always in a rush. And this is even more true when you're kindred. Now, allow me to take care of some business, and I'll be right with you. Even as she's zooming through traffic, she's still on her phone, of course. Nice car. How do you afford that? Thank you! The lavender really brings out its character, doesn't it? About affording things in this city, it's pretty hard. You gotta be on top of your game at all times. Might as well explain my business plan to you while I'm at it. So, another extremely online Malk based in New York goes by the name of Dev Null. Told me to Google Ethereum a few years ago. That's how I got into Bitcoin. And I found a new religion. 23-year-old selling visions of governments replaced by benign code and decentralized census. Masses ruled by algorithms as just as the laws of physics. Idiot man-child investors trying to shape their reality. Oh, click through it. Her driving style is far more aggressive and dangerous than you're comfortable with. Is it just you, or does she peek into the rearview mirror more often than she looks straight ahead? A hyper-speculative environment where nothing has real value, only oh, sorry. That's Hope. I was like, these words. A hyper-speculative environment where nothing has real value, only abstract beliefs matter, and your life savings can be ruined by a single bullshit tweet. How could I resist the allure, refuse the allure? Hope is a lot to read. I started buying low and selling high on a variety of shady 24/7 exchanges that allowed me with 100 times leverage, as in, they lend me 100 times the capital I could bet with. I got lucky at the beginning and kept the ball rolling, shorting and longing impulsively, recklessly. I got to the point where I became too big to fail, and that's when I cashed out. The car comes to an abrupt halt. You bump up against the seat in front of you. Although she just slams on the brakes, you're like, yeah. Thanks, Hope. Okay, this story will be continued later. We're here, right at our first stop. I'll need you to do me a favor. First stop? Yeah, I need to run a few errands tonight. This one's as simple as it gets. You see that weird guy in a Yankees cap standing around the corner? Approach him. Tell him you're at young, hot, petite ingenue. Take the phone he gives you and bring it here. Get going, honey. It's illegal to park here. You jump out of the car and approach the man Hope has pointed out. Not a lot you can tell about him based on his appearance, aside from the fact he seems pretty shady. The guy assumes a comically threatening pose as you approach him. Sorry. The hand tattoo is legit, though. What? Why does he look like... He looks like he would surely be a character in a Seth Rogen movie. Like, surely. Post Malone going hard. No, we don't insult Post Malone here. This is clearly Post Malone's lesser cousin. Alright. Pest Malone. The hell do you want? I am at young hot petite ingenue. Oh. No offense, but kinda expected a girl. I mean, no, yeah, my bad for assuming. Damn. He takes the phone out of his pocket and covertly passes it to you. Pre-Malone. He's not Post Malone, he's Pre-Malone. Everything has been prepared and preloaded according to your instructions. Should take about 2 minutes to transfer the data. Now get out of here. The man walks away with an exaggerated hip-hop gait. You jump back into Hope's car and she immediately steps on the gas. It's just... Why? You got the phone? You're the best. Pass it to me, please. She connects the 2 smartphones using a cable and begins some sort of data transfer. Looks like it's an identical model. Another minute or so, the process is complete. Alright, goodbye, lovely. You've served me well. Hope opens the car window and grabs her old phone. You're not expert enough to recognize the exact model, but it definitely looks like it had an $800 price slapped on it, and tosses it out the window. Surprised, you look behind you and see a car in the opposite lane run over the abandoned device. Hope notices your quizzical look. I've been needing a lot of burner phones lately, and I'm not going to use some cheap piece of shit, so it's a pretty expensive necessity. Intersection. Red light. She takes advantage of the moment to shoot a driving selfie that strategically excludes her face and upload it to Instagram. You notice her handle there is Versace Beauty. Or I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say Versace Beauty. Now, I was telling you a story. Cashing out. Right. At some point towards the end of 2017, I became convinced I needed to cash out. There was no way the bubble was going to last forever. I always knew there would be no grapes of wrath for cryptocurrency era. It would have to be a series of profoundly antisocial, disconnected events. The whole crypto culture was a decentralized church of lone millennials who rejected all established modern values and kept atoning for the original sin of not buying Bitcoin back in 2013. Another abrupt last-second turn, you're pressed against the window. What the hell is with her driving style? Bet a life you never wanted to live anyway, and get a chance to win a priceless pile of nothing. Untether yourself from all worldly desires. Find. I'm not saying that out loud. To this day, money holds no real value for me. It's as abstract as a video game score, a bunch of numbers on the screen. This joyless world changed me forever. I knew I had to escape. So I took my piles of fictional dollars to a new arena, elite NYC social circles. Not because I wanted to scam them and make more, but because I wanted to finally have some goddamn fun. I mean, of course I had to scam them in the process, but it was only in service of becoming something more than a star, a constellation. Another abrupt stop, this time next to the entrance of a shifty-looking back alley. Alright, friend. This time you're at Leaky Gut Syndrome, whistleblower extraordinaire. Whenever a press sneak fuck wants a leak, you've got it. Got it? Sorry for putting you out there in my place, but I only personally contact people as a last resort. It gets harder to protect my identity each time I show my face. And since I've got you, our man is waiting for you in this back alley. He's paying back a favor with a flash drive containing crucial information we need to stay safe in this city. Retrieve it. I will circle the area, make sure we aren't in danger right now. When you're done, get back here and I'll pick you up. Everything clear? Good. You exit the car and see it drive away in a hurry, then head into the narrow passageway. Sure enough, there's a man waiting for you at the end of the back street. Unshaven, wearing wrinkled clothes, with a nervous eye tick. He looks even dodgier than the last guy you met. When you approach, he gives you a mean look. Obscure as reference, but he looks like Muriel from the Arcana. Oh my god. Hi Muriel, how you doing? How's the chickens? Okay. The R2-D2 scream was for exactly 2 people. Yeah. Short version of the R2-D2 scream. The actor for Anton from ATL by Night was driving a few of us who had had a little too much to drink back from a bar, and took a turn kind of sharp, and we all went sliding across the back seat and proceeded to just through the whole turn. And R2-D2 screamed the whole way. Yeah, bless his soul. He was in a car with 4 women that R2-D2 screamed all at the same time. It was amazing. It was very amazing. Hey. Yelling you're welcome. Hey, you got us home safe, and you drove very safe, except for that one sharp turn. Oh my god. Maybe you shouldn't have taken the turn so hard. Yep. It was funny, though. It was like the first drink I had had in like 3 years. And immediately the second I got home, I was like, ugh, I feel terrible. I'm not doing that again. It was like coffee in car form. Alright. Oh man, I kind of wish I had coffee. Now that I think about it. Alright. You lost or something? I'm at Leaky Gut Syndrome. You said you got a little something that might interest me. Of course, of course. Straight to the point, aren't you? Alright then. Clumsily, he produces a USB stick from his front shirt pocket and holds it before your face. When you reach out to take it, he pulls his hand back and gives you a sly grin. Getting all this data was risky, you know. Miss Montgomery is an unusually secretive person. Digging up dirt on her took more effort than I expected. Effort that should be rewarded, I think. The more you ask about her, the more you expect a letter saying, give up your inquiries, which are completely useless, at your doorstep. Perhaps attached to a severed cat head, you catch my drift? The secrecy surrounding her screams, friends in high places, Brave New World Order Illuminati shit, you know? Makes me think I deserve some hazard pay. No, he's a human. We're gonna refuse. Last time we walked away, but let's refuse. I ran a background check on you. You're not just some random schmuck off the street. No way you didn't know what you were walking into when you took this job. And if you really didn't, I doubt you're the kind of journalist who can gather intel worth shit. You're bluffing the hell out of it, but unsure if it's gonna work. It does. The man spits on the ground angrily and raises his hands in surrender. Alright, alright. I shouldn't have put you on the spot like that. My bad, okay? He extends the hand holding the flash drive towards you again. You take it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Not really sure what it's about, but one of my informants claims you might be interested in this. He reaches in his inner jacket pocket and presents you with something wholly unexpected. It's a bag of blood, labeled simply as ABRH negative. You take a close look, but that doesn't answer any of the questions that just appeared in your mind. You peek into the journalist's cold blue eyes and see them twitch uncontrollably. Don't ask me. They said you'll know what to do with it, leaky gut. Come on, take it. So last time we accepted it, Hope lost her goddamn mind. So should we refuse? Or do a drinky drink? I'm gonna leave that up to y'all, but we're not accepting just because we did that last time, so we already know what happens there. Okay, so it's one vote for refuse. Giving y'all a second to figure it out. Refuse. Okay. It's looking like refuse. Keep it. I have no idea who that informant is, but they've been feeding you bullshit, buddy. Yeah, I don't think so. Another eye twitch and an awkward silence. You give the blood bag one last glance and leave the alley the way you came. Hope's car appears behind the corner just as you walk out onto the street. Doesn't even fully stop when you approach, but just slows down just enough that you can jump in. The moment you close the door, she leans into the gas pedal with her full strength, causing the engine to roar. Her driving style definitely doesn't reflect how laid back she seems as a person. We got it? You throw the flash drive onto the seat next to her. Perfect. Any problems? How'd the meeting go? You relate the entire back alley encounter to her. Towards the end of the story, you notice she's not staring at the road or her phone, but directly at your face. The realization startles you. You've got the bag of blood with you? Left it with him. Felt fishy somehow. Huh. Anything particular about it? Nothing. Just a label saying ABRH negative. She steps on the brakes. Fuck! Fuck, 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 fuck! I'm okay. She grabs the flash drive you obtained and throws it out the window. Looks like that's her favorite method of taking care of problems. That bag was a message. AB negative used to be my blood type. It's the rarest one. Found in less than 1% of the United States population. Glad you didn't drink it. Who knows what they've done to the bag? Some NYC vets can tell you wild stories about using irradiated blood to locate and kill other kindred. Seriously? Glad I didn't drink from him. Better safe than sorry, yeah. Still, I wonder if they would have done anything to his blood. That would have been some kind of 5-dimensional chess move. But yeah, this contact is compromised and needs to be cut off. Goodbye, my journalist frenemy, and goodbye, dear Lucky Gut Syndrome. You've both outlived your usefulness. Another brief period of hesitation, she deletes the whistleblower extraordinaire account and sighs. Another one bites the dust. I've got another story to finish. I was talking about Bitcoin, and then where did I stop? Constellation. Becoming a constellation. Oh, right. You know who saw the real face of this city? Anna Delvey. Ever heard of her? A Russian working class girl born as Anna Sorokin. Sorokin. She moved to New York in 2013 and convinced everyone that she was this insanely rich trust fund kid, a wealthy German heiress. Manhattan elites totally fell for it, and they got... Oh, God. Sorry. Trigger finger. This mouse is like a really nice gamer mouse, and it's really good when I'm playing Borderlands and need to like rapid click, but when I just have my hand just like resting on the mouse, it just sometimes is like, oh, you want to click? Sorokin created her Delvey persona out of thin air, convinced everyone that she was going to set up an art fund, and kept tasting all of life's finest pleasures while being basically broke. She even made up a fake family financial advisor, then killed him off when he became a liability. And apparently, most of her rich victims never admitted to being scammed out of shame. By now you're sure, the way she scrutinizes her surroundings and her reckless driving, she's trying to escape somebody. Now, Delphi's locked up with murderers in Rikers, writing her memoirs, apparently picking a lot of fights. Bless her heart, she'll forever be an inspiration. But I have more advantages than she ever did. I have my own considerable funds, and I can rely on many more made-up people than just some old-ass financial advisor. A whole bunch of fake content creators and influencers that every rich dumbass wants to get in touch with and collaborate makes it super easy to earn money, more money than I invest. Ugh. You've seen it firsthand, both as a deceiver and the deceived. It's a city of illusions. Make non-existent money, come up with a fictional status, play nonsensical Camarilla games. And one day, you might just find yourself at the top. Alright, we're reaching our last stop. You look around, you've come up on a parking garage. You're going to take an elevator to the 70th floor. Give the masked man you meet in the door this memory card. It contains a art house movie I've made. You mean a vampire movie? By art house, you mean vampire movie? Yes, a movie you've seen me rehearse in my haven. You didn't think I was doing that just for show, did you? I found some filthy rich Manhattan pervs who will pay a fortune for a convincing vampire camp show. I don't need money, but their IT industry connections gave me an idea. When we give them this memory card, we'll gain access to tech that should allow us to take on my biggest enemy in the city. So your nickname this time is going to be a Crash. Yep. It's time. You're momentarily dazed and can't immediately understand what happened. The first thing you know for sure is if you were still a normal human being, you'd be dead for sure. You replayed the last few seconds in your head. The other car appeared out of nowhere and crashed into Hope's vehicle at the maximum speed it was able to achieve in this closed-off space. The driver had already managed to kick open the mangled door next to him and stumbled out of his seat. Now he wordlessly approaches the trunk and takes a large caliber silenced pistol out of it. Right. He starts approaching the lavender wreck of Hope's car, obviously ready to finish the job that he started. You have to be fast and violent. It's you or him now. See. Ooh. Attack the man? That feels like our Brujah options. Let's be a Brujah. Your instincts take over. You don't come up with a strategy or an optimal route. You simply start running towards the gunman, yelling. For a split second, he's completely dumbfounded. Then he opens fire. The bullets put a brief stop in your sprint. You're engulfed in pain, your flesh and clothes being shredded to bits. But when his magazine runs out, you're still standing and determined to move forward. He tries to act quickly as possible, but he can't reload his weapon before you get to him. A tackle, a primal scream, left punch, right punch, left punch, right punch. You return this cruelty tenfold to his face. When you're done, the head is barely recognizable as human. You stand above the gunman's body, trying to calm yourself and your killer instincts. That's when you hear her voice. Ugh. Hope slithers out of her car and she sees you standing over your assailant. Huh. You did pretty good. She approaches the body of the driver you killed and kicks it so she can take a better look at it. Upon seeing the front of the corpse, she lets out an annoyed grunt. Knew it would be this asshole. He's been following us all day. I know just who he belongs to. Even before she's done talking, she's already trying to reach someone through a video call. Eventually, she succeeds. You see a nonchalant woman in business casual on her smartphone screen. Kara Montgomery, how may I help you? Kara. Hope. Didn't expect you to ever reach out to me through this channel. Have you thought things through? Wait, did something happen? Did something happen? Your fucking ghoul just tried to kill me, you crazy bitch. That's what fucking happened. Calm yourself, for Christ's sake. This is a baseless accusation. I know he's from Double Spiral. He's been working at your motherfucking company. Come on. You know I can't be held responsible for the independent actions of my subordinates. Why don't we just meet up and talk it over? Hope disconnects the call and instantly blocks Kara from contacting her. You corporate shithead, you make me sick. Tired, she turns her gaze to the dead ghoul. I'll dispose of him. Help me put him in my car. 30 seconds later, his body is laying in the backseat of the lavender-colored wreck. Okay, good. You take a look at the scene of carnage in front of you. Every second we're here, it gets us closer to a serious Masquerade violation. I'll have to exchange my Palme d'Or-worthy masterpiece for the goods some other time. She gets behind the wheel and you follow her inside the car. Meet me in my haven when I tell you it's safe. For now, I need to dump this asshole somewhere, get my car fixed, and plan our counterattack. You guide Hope to your haven, she drops you off, and before she leaves, she makes what's about to come perfectly clear. If we want to survive in this city, Kara Montgomery needs to die. She disappears into traffic, and you disappear into your place. Whew. Whew. We need to rest. Alright. Whew. So that scene was kind of the same, but I feel like it went a lot more fast-paced that time. I don't know. Maybe that's just my perception. Alright. You're walking down the street towards your haven. In some other town, the sidewalks would be deserted this time of night. In NYC, there are plenty of passerbys going about their business. It's easy to be paranoid when you're a vampire surrounded by a crowd of humans. The kindred have many enemies, and all those enemies have one trait in common. They're invisible, indistinguishable from normal humanity. Other vampires, hunters, all look like people. Is that old man just a tired restaurant worker, or a kindred thrall tailing your movements? Are the officers idly waiting in a patrol car, ordinary cops, or Second Inquisition specialists looking to end undead threats? This kind of thing leads to madness, but you can't shake the feeling that someone is watching you. It's not the first time you felt like this. Whatever this is, it's probably something you have to take care of. Best case, someone is tailing you. Worst case, you'll be attacked and killed. Unfortunately, being undead has its limitations. The sun is coming up soon, and you'll burn to a crisp if you stay on the streets. You reach your haven and settle in for the day, disconcerted by the idea that someone might know where you sleep. Oh shit, when did we get hungry? We got hungry when we got shot. So when we got shot, the blood came up on the screen. All right. As you wake from your slumber and emerge from your haven for the night, you notice a familiar face on the other side of the street, standing on the corner looking straight at you. It's Kaiser's lackey, whom you met recently, Jackie. Jackie the lackey. I didn't even pick that up last time. He nods to you, encouraging you to approach. His hands are outside of his pockets and he seems pretty relaxed. He's keeping his eyes on the street, though, as if making sure you're alone. He smiles awkwardly when you approach. Evening. Got something for you from our mutual friend. He produces a crumpled piece of paper from his jacket pocket and hands it to you. Read it, memorize it, then give it back here. It's a letter. The paper might just be a page ripped out of a spiral notebook, but the writing on it is exquisitely detailed and deliberate. It reads, "Time to square your debt with me. Go to the wine shop at 232 Mulberry Street and ask for the 1821 Special Reserve Donatella. I remember that we didn't have to remember this, and I'm bad at Italian. When they tell you they don't have it, say you are a... How did I do this the first time? Fedele servitore della familia G. Those exact fucking words, and make sure you get the G right. Yeah, so, just as a visual novel note, like, in making a visual novel, if you make something that the player has to fucking remember, like, that it's like, get this right or else, let that be a consequence thing. Like, let me have the potential to get it wrong. You'll get a bottle, just take it and leave by saying grazie. Don't ask how much it is or anything else, just walk out. When you have it, come back to Jackie Boy here and let him know. You done? Memorize that shit and hand it over. I'll see what the rush is, buddy. Hey, it's your funeral. I can stand here all night and even enjoy a nice sunrise while I'm at it. Not a luxury you have. Just hand me back the letter once you're done. You note the phrases and address mentioned in the letter, then hand it back to Jackie. He immediately reaches for a lighter and burns the letter, putting out the ashes with his boot. So yeah, when you do what the boss asks, come back here so I can tell you where you go next. I'll be in the alley over there, so find me when you have the item, whatever it is. I don't know. And the boss made it extra clear that I shouldn't care, so I don't. See ya. He shuffles away and leaves you to pursue the lead from the letter. Time to pay a visit to Nolita. You arrive at the address mentioned in the note. Not counting local restaurant patrons, the street is mostly empty at this time of night. But curiously, the wine shop is still open. Inside, a small middle-aged woman with curly hair stands behind the counter in front of a wall filled with wine bottles. There's a door at the back of the room with a small table and chair occupied by a man in a black faux leather jacket with slick combed-back hair. I remember that from last time. That just scared the heck out of me. He's reading the newspaper but pauses as the little bell rings when you open the door. He takes a sip from a small steaming cup and then goes back to his broadsheet. God, I love her dress. Good evening. How can I help you? We're just gonna be direct. I would like a bottle of the 1821 special... Yeah. Let me check our stock. She seems to be looking through a database on the laptop sitting on the counter. She puts on a polite smile. I'm afraid we don't have that one at the moment. Sorry. I'm going to recite the phrase straight and simple. Yep, that. Ah, in that case, let me see if we have any in the back. Wait here, please. The woman leaves the counter and goes through the doors in the back. The man by the table puts down his newspaper and takes another sip from the cup, washing it down with a gulp of water from a nearby glass. He tries to hide it, but there's no doubt he's watching you. About a minute passes. You remind yourself of what Kaiser wrote in the letter. Keep quiet. Patiently waiting for the woman to return from the back of the store. The man finishes his drink and starts doodling on the newspaper, his eyes darting to you every so often. The doors to the back of the store open, and the proprietor emerges with a small, unlabeled squat bottle of crimson liquid. She gives you an apologetic smile. Scusi, sorry for taking so long. Turns out we did have it. She offers you the bottle, and you reach out to grab it, but she retracts it. You do know what this is, don't you? Do we want to risk using presents when we've got some blood on the screen? Blood on the screen would be a great name for a vampire streamer. Huh. Yeah, let's use presents. You focus your blood and immediately see both of the people in the shop focus intensely in on you and what you're about to say. That might have been a mistake. I know exactly what this is, and I'm the right person to give it to. The woman gives you the bottle without hesitation. Grazie. Deciding you've pushed your luck far enough, you nod and exit the store and take a brisk walk to your car. Nobody follows you as you leave Nolita and drive back to your apartment. It takes you some time to find a parking spot, but you finally get out of the car and start looking for Jackie. He's not far from where you parted ways just under 2 hours ago. Got the goods? Sure do. Cool. Stand by. Gotta make the call. He takes a few more steps into a narrow space between two buildings and takes out the same high-tech phone you saw him carrying last time. Hey, boss. Yeah, they have it. Where do I point him to? Okay. Yeah, I'll tell him to go there right away. He puts the phone back in his pocket and turns back to you. Willets Point. Half an hour, so you better step on it. See you around. With only a flippant salute, Jackie starts walking down the street. You make your way back to the car and drive. You had to push the speed limit to make it on time, but you're here. Willets Point is quite a change of scenery. This place is a post-industrial dump, the nearby stadium notwithstanding. You stop your car once you realize that if you go any further down, the potholes will kill your chassis. You step out into one of those gashes in the asphalt, splashing in the ankle-deep water. Kaiser's limo is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the whole place is pretty much deserted, other than the apparent proprietor of a lonely bar, a middle-aged woman who's just locking the place up. What? Can we not Why are we blocked off from waiting? Is it because we're hungry? We're not even that hungry. Oh, come on. Alright, we know what happens when we go to the bar owner, so let's just go. It's too perfect an opportunity to not take advantage of. She's walking to her car, ready to call it a night when you sneak up on her. She's far too tired to resist your strong hold and swift bite. You can taste the caffeine in her veins, smell the cheap cigarettes in her hair, the old cooking grease in her clothes. She passes out, your assault the closing note of a long day at work. You let her down gently and feel a pang of remorse. You pick up the car keys she dropped and place her in the driver's seat. She'll find an explanation for passing out like this for sure. The bright lights of a car pulling over down the road illuminate you as you close the door. It's a black limo. Kaiser is finally here, it would seem. Same as the last time, the car doors open, but nobody comes out. You know the drill. This time, Kaiser is visible when you look inside. You sit down and close the door behind you. So you pulled it off without a hitch, then. Give it here. You hand the bottle over to the Nosferatu. He uncorks it gently, takes a whiff, and puts the cork back in. Yeah, that's the stuff. See, that wasn't so hard. Consider your debt paid. Oh yeah, and also take this. It's what Langley wanted. He passes you an envelope with what feels like a thick card inside. Now we're even. Sure, fledgling. That's the way you want to see it. I'll send Jackie over if I need anything else from you. How about that? Time for you to get out now. He waves you out of the car with the envelope in hand. You get out, go back into the torn asphalt and decrepit surroundings. The limo slowly drives away. Finally, you can return to Sophie and bring her what she wanted. Gregory lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh, and you realize Sophie's having a guest over. Thomas Arturo. Fuck! Thomas, no! Okay. You met in Elysium a few nights back. That shriek is unmistakable. Ah, Chethany. So glad to see you. Tell me, did you two have a chance to talk previously? Thomas speaks up before you can. Why, yes, of course. And such a good first impression you made, too. Miss Langley clearly did the right thing by taking you under her wing. I'm sure she thinks so too, don't you, Sophie? Why, of course. Of course you do. Of course. Well, I believe I must be going. I'll be sure to let Prince Panard know your thoughts, Miss Langley. Word for word, or as close as I can remember them. I appreciate it, Thomas. You two enjoy your night now. Good night, Sophie, Chethany, Greggy boy. He gives you a sly smile. Sophie's driver opens the door for Arturo, and the guest steps outside with a single wave of the hand towards his host and you. The doors close. Yeah, this scene is super uncomfortable now. Now that we know what a piece of shit Arturo is. Okay. Whew. Alright. So, what's his deal? Same as everyone's. Position, power, influence. Thomas has clout in court and access to many juicy details on everyone, from the prince to the lowliest primogen. It's useful to have him on your side, even if eccentricity requires some patience. Oh, you're heading out. Good night. Or, good day. Have a good rest. I don't know. Speaking of patience, you've been putting mine to the test lately. Did you manage to contact Kaiser and acquire what I asked for? So being more blatantly antagonistic like this option is going to be our venture route. Our venture route, we're going to be a big old bitch. And we're going to choose all the options that upset me. This one feels like it rats him out just a little bit. And I feel like we wouldn't do that. We don't like Sophie enough. Yeah, let's go snarky. Hey, that's unfair. I busted my ass to secure this card for you. Some more gratitude would be welcome. She retrieves the envelope from you. Oh? And what was so hard about trading one item for another, pray tell? Ooh. We don't think he's a prick. Like, he's rude, but we got Brujah solidarity up in here. Uh. Oh, man. Sorry. Hmm. Which option should we go with? Y'all help me choose on this one because each one of these would be very interesting. Hmm. Hmm. I know there's a delay, so I'm trying to make sure to give you guys enough time. Yeah, we like Kaiser, so we don't want to rat him out. But also, we're Brujah, so class solidarity. Yeah, we don't want to call him a prick. Dealing with his servant first feels kind of neutral because you're just like, well, I had to deal with this ghoul, and this ghoul sucks. Telling her about the bottle might be a betrayal to him? I don't know. Uh, yeah, let's just tell her about the bottle. Fuck it. He made me go on an entirely separate escapade to retrieve a bottle of wine from a store in Nolita. I'd use code phrases and whatnot. That's way more information! Wine shop? Code phrases? That degenerate pest. She's visibly agitated but calms down and smiles at you. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure that whatever Kaiser had you do, it'll blow over. She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice that same lettering you saw in Kaiser's note from before, but you can't see the details. Her eyes widen. Yes. Excellent. I need to call in some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. You have my permission to show some initiative, my dear charge. I will contact you soon. With that, Sophie ushers you outside, and you are left to do with the rest of the night's hours as you like. We never did this one, so I feel like let's do this one. Someone is following you around. Has been for a few nights, maybe longer. That can't be a good thing. The only question is what to do about it. Provoke. We're gonna provoke. We're a dumb Brujah. We're gonna provoke. You venture out to the streets with the goal of letting your stalker know you're aware of being followed. It's time to stop this ridiculous charade. I have the hiccups, sorry. Okay. I hate how hiccups hurt. Ugh. Okay. It's raining outside, and as you step onto the streets in front of your haven, you wonder whether that'll help you. Will you be able to see the footprints of your stalker in puddles on the ground? Not sure where to start, you slip a few bills to a homeless man and chat up the guy who runs the local bodega. Both of them talk your ear off about strange characters hanging around, but none of their stories seem right to you. Yeah, it's New York. You can't be like, did you see a strange person? It's gonna be like, buddy, the whole fucking city. Like, what are you on about? Ugh. Stretching! Early morning stretches are important. Okay. Walking in the streets, you're convinced by turns that everyone you see is an enemy agent out to get you, and that your stalker has decided to take the night off. Frustrated after a couple hours of useless searching, you cross the road without looking where you're going. A courier on a motorbike zooms towards you and has no time to brake or swerve as you suddenly step in front of him. For a split second, your eyes meet those of a man on the bike, and you know you'll collide. You'll get hurt. Something hits you, pushing you forward. You tumble, flying to the sidewalk as the courier zooms past. You feel a weight on your back, catching a glimpse of something. A person. Female, you think. And then she disappears. You could spend a couple more hours trying to find the woman who's been stalking you, but in your shriveled undead heart, you know it to be futile. She's gone. Huh. 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 Yes, 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 yes. So, Hope or D'Angelo? I'll let you guys. Oh, no, we gotta rest. My bad. That one was so quick, I didn't realize it would have taken up that much time. Alright. Ah! This fucker. So, do we want our reporter, Hope, or D'Angelo? One of these three. Y'all let me know which one you're interested in. So it's one for D'Angelo. Save the reporter for the Ventrue route. I don't know if we'll be able to finish him and the stalker. Yeah, so that's a good point about the reporter. We did a bunch of his route, but we didn't get to finish it. So we'll focus on him with our Ventrue. So, okay. Everyone, D'Angelo. Alright. As you leave your haven, a homeless man bumps into you. You turn after him, but he blends into the crowd before you can even get a good look on his face. Instinctively, you check your pocket. A note? Looking at Manhattan Bridge. Come over. D. That lightning, though. Knowing there are only so many places with a good enough view of the Manhattan Bridge, you decide to check the ones that aren't likely to be crowded at this time of night. It doesn't take long before you hit the jackpot. Jane's Carousel. As you're walking along the pier, you notice a lonely figure sitting on the bench, steel flask in hand, his legs up on the railing. Soon enough, you hear a familiar voice. Evening turned to night, and as the final flickering rays of sunlight gave way to the kind nocturnal shadows, so did the last of the jabbering tourists give way to a blessed silence. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling. Pausing mid-sentence, he leans back over the bench backrest and looks straight at you. Upside down, his face looks even creepier than usual. That I wasn't alone. What's in the flask? That flask. Is that what I think it is? Depends on what you think. It's a little something for my private reserve. I call it the Drunken Sailor, because that's probably where it came from. He takes a sip, then points the flask in your general direction. Want some? Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. Let's get a little toasty. Sure, why not? You take the flask and take a swig. It's blood, all right. Mixed with other frivolous substances, some of which you recognize, while others you probably don't want to know. That's the spirit. Now that you're good and sauced, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. There's been another one. Killing, I mean. Down by the docks. Same M.O.? The blood? The graffiti? Yep. It was our gal, alright. Victim sucked dry, same as before. Another sign on the wall. Something about impending doom and oh lord, he coming. The particulars escape me. What if she's just been worried about a really fat cat this whole time? Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, come to think of it, almost all her graffiti could be just about a really fat cat. Oh lord, he coming. Oh my god. I can't get over it. That's amazing. Oh lord, he coming. I just like the chat. Just, oh lord, he coming. Is that... I can hear dogs, but I don't know if it's mine or not. Or if it's the game. If it's the game, please loop dog sounds again. Okay. Oh, thank God. No, the dogs are in the game. Okay. Couldn't tell if it was my neighbors or the game. Okay, so we all collectively hallucinated dog noises. Alright. You know, that night I saw her, she looked so frail, so innocent. Deep inside, I was hoping she'd be spooked. Get out of town. Then maybe, just maybe, that would be the end of it. But that's me, you know. Hopelessly optimistic. You know why she's doing it? Any idea why she's doing it? Doesn't really matter at this point. Whether she's Kane's chosen or just a poor girl gone nuts. After a botched embrace, one thing is painfully clear. He gives you a look of worry and sadness. She ain't gonna stop. He takes a swig as if to punctuate the sentence. So anyway, I've set up a meeting. Neutral ground, public space. Shouldn't get too ugly. Still, I was hoping you could tag along. Larson? Is it Larson again? Nah. Let's leave the poor schmuck alone for now. It's pretty clear he's just as clueless as we are. He looks away and pats the bench next to where he's sitting. Just a little... Come sit. You might want to sit for this one. Oh. Am I meeting your parents? So am I meeting your parents feels snarky? Just fucking tell me feels Ventrue. Because we respect Nosferatu. Internet death 4 times in the last hour. Yeah, I had... Hopefully my stream is looking and behaving better for y'all this time around. I, made some internet adjustments, got something to boost my signal up to where my office is, and, tried to lower the frame rate just to make things a little better. So hopefully this is looking better for you guys. I'm just gonna say, can't be that bad. Oh, come on, it can't be that bad. Who are we meeting? Valerie. I'm sorry. Did that bee just steal a noodle? Alright. I'm sorry. I must have misheard you. Want to try that again? I know how it sounds. Listen, kid. I know you two didn't exactly hit it off, but she's not as bad as you think. I mean, in some respects, she's probably worse, but she can be reasoned with. Once again, he goes for the flask, but stops himself mid-motion. Look, the way I see it, we ain't got a choice. As much as I want to help Sana, she's clearly a few bats short of a belfry. More people are gonna die unless we do something about it. I'll tag along if you need me, but for the record, I really don't want to. Me neither, kid. But if there's one thing life has taught me, you don't always get what you want. Noticeably proud of his words of wisdom, he tries to top him off with one last swig. A single drop falls between his crooked teeth. He looks at the empty flask with the utmost contempt. Well, ain't that fucking poignant. Muttering a curse under his breath, he makes a valiant effort to get up off the bench. As he staggers, struggling to remain upright, you offer your shoulder to lean on. He shoots you a smile that's as crooked as it is affectionate. Hey, kid. You meet his gaze, trying to look friendly rather than condescending. You're all right. And with that heartfelt moment, you bid adieu to the sprawling vista and make your way towards the bridge. Next stop, Manhattan. Entering the park from Midtown Manhattan, you promptly take a spot in by one of the alleys, not very deep into the park. Is this Central Park? I don't know shit about New York. I've been there. I don't know shit. I even went to Central Park, but I don't know where I was. I do know I walked, it looks like Central Park, but I don't know if Central Park's Manhattan. I did catch myself walking around Central Park at night, was like, yo, this is exactly how Law & Order SVU starts, so I need to get out of this park. You know, you're just like walking, you're like, oh, the park's really nice, it's empty, it's quiet, and that's exactly what a killer would think. Doesn't look super familiar, but who knows, park's huge. That's actually a good point. I noticed that when I was there. Central Park is way bigger than I thought it was. It's practically a city. Alright. Minutes pass, 5, 10, 15. You start to wonder if she's even going to show up. Suddenly you hear a familiar voice, but with an unfamiliar tone. She sounds almost nice. Hello, Jenny. There she is, walking along the side of the fountain. She looks less out of place here than back at the junkie-infested hovel, but only by a slight margin. Something tells you there are only so many places she would feel at home, and probably not ones you'd want to find yourself in. Val. Oh, this is going to be fun voice switching. She glances over at you, barely noting your presence. Sorry about last time. Nothing personal, you understand. When I get caught up in the moment, I can get a bit intense. I can attest to that. We have to say it, y'all. We have to. We have to. Can you two just get a room? Because the sexual tension is just unbearable. D'Angelo gives you a pleading look. He clearly doesn't want you to dwell on the subject. You hear that, Jenny? Your friend has us all figured out. She takes a step towards you. The smell of her perfume is overpowering. Or maybe it's just jealousy. Although I'd be careful if I were you. Last time we got close, it didn't exactly work out for you. Speaking of which, how's that neck doing? Our options are, it's fine, which I'm sure he'll say in a shitty way, or just... Is the entire fucking court torn? That's sure as shit how it feels, doesn't it? Also, Coteries of New York has a new standalone DLC coming out. I believe I don't have the announcement in front of me. I believe it's called Shadows of New York, and you play as a La Sombra. So depending on when that comes out, uh, either like if we're not done with the Brujah route by then, by the time it comes out, then we'll do Shadows of New York before we do the Ventrue playthrough, because I want to play that as soon as I can. I don't get how it works as standalone DLC. So with visual novels, a lot of times standalone DLCs mean it's an additional side story. So like we'll be playing this side story probably as a La Sombra and playing through the La Sombra story, and it won't interact with the main plot of Sophie. So this is just like a vignette of a different part of the city. There's some other shit happening with La Sombra. But that's usually how it works in visual novels. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Like, is a separate game to get, or is it Coterie plus this? So it'll be, you have Coteries, you just purchase the additional DLC. It's kind of like, no, I was gonna say it's kind of like Borderlands DLC, but you're still playing the same character. But Borderlands DLC is like, it's always like a completely separate story. So this appears to be a separate side story about La Sombra. So we'll see. I'm really excited. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna flip her off, or just snarkily say, it's fine? I don't care that you choked me, bitch. D'Angelo probably cares. I just love that D'Angelo apparently is just slanging it across town. Like, hell yeah. Go, boy. Why don't you flip off Valerie? Plot twist, it's about Raphael. We can all continue to scream Batty. Oh my god. Bless Raphael. Ladies love a gritty detective. Forgetting that apparently one of his other exes is a male thin blood. D'Angelo said bisexual rights. Honestly, if you're a vampire long enough and you don't make it to being bisexual at some point, I'm confused. Because, like, how do you make it to 500 years without just being like, I'll see what it's like? Like, at some point, the boredom of millennia has to take over and at least be like, why not give it a shot? Being LaCroix. LaCroix. I don't think we've ever gotten a canon sexuality on LaCroix, but that man is absolutely a bottom. I guess let's flip her off. Well, no, because we gotta get information out of her. D'Angelo wants us to play nice. And we respect D'Angelo more than we respect Valerie. So we'll just say it's fine. It's fine. No! Flipping her off was very Brujah, but this was amazing. Oh my god. It's fine. Barely felt it anyway. She can tell you're lying. You can tell she's enjoying herself. I'm so glad. Now, let's get down to business. We have a proposition for you. Threesome at Central Park. He's an obvious bottom. He can't bring himself to be beneath anybody. Yeah, the thing is, though, LaCroix absolutely would. LaCroix strikes me as very, like, politician with secret side bitches. Like, and by bitches, I mean the sheriff. LaCroix's just like secretly banging Gary Golden. He just really loves that old film era fame. God, we're coming up with bullshit that the Outstar would go nuts for. I love when Twitch decides to jump back 30 seconds. I have to refresh the page. That has happened to me too. So many times, and I don't know why. Alright. We have a mutually beneficial proposition. Does the pup speak for you, Jenny? Because I'm getting weird Sorcerer's Apprentice vibe right now. Give the kid a break, Val. We're here about Sana, the thin blood you're after. The girl's a threat. We need to find her. Figured we can do it faster if we work together. Uh-huh. Keep going, honey, because I have a feeling there's a catch coming. The catch is... Awkward silence. It's not often you see him at a loss for words. Seeing him struggle, you decide to jump in. Don't be a murderous bitch! The catch is, fuck you! We want the girl to stay alive. See, now that's a deal breaker right there, sugar. If you want me to even consider it, you'll have to sweeten the pot. Once again, she turns to D'Angelo. And I bet tall, dark, and handsome over here might have some ideas. You want a cookie? Like, just tell us what you want. Oh, you're no fun anymore. She wants a higher profile... Oh, she wants a higher profile target to show off to the prince what a good little scourge she is. It's all you care about nowadays, huh? Playing the game, climbing the ranks. A smile creeps onto her lips. You can tell it's forced. D'Angelo definitely knows how to get under her skin. That's my Jenny. A big old brain and a heart to match. Once again, she turns to you. I knew right away he'd try to help this girl. He does love him a damsel in distress. But you... I'm still not sure what your angle is. What do you care? I don't, honey. Not really. It's called making conversation. So there. You know my terms. Contact me when you've made up your mind. Don't take too long, though. I'm a lucky girl. I might just find your little thin blood on my own. Still, I hope we can work together. We did make a good team back in the day, didn't we? Slowly, seductively, she puts her arms around his shoulder. She glances over to you, clearly enjoying how awkward it makes you feel. D! D'Angelo, you lady killer. What's the good option here? You have a thing for the Nosferatu? If I say that, she's gonna be like, no, I have a thing for D'Angelo. Yeah. D, once this meeting is over, you'll have some explaining to do. You hear that, Jenny? You're in some hot water now. Anyway. Withdrawing from the strange half-embrace, she flicks D'Angelo's nose gently with her index finger. Almost instantly, she turns from flirtatious to dispassionate. However this plays out, I have a feeling we'll meet again. Sooner or later. Sooner than later. Until then. Without sparing you another glance, she disappears down an unlit park alley. D'Angelo watches her go, the look on his face a mixture of longing and guilt. It's borderline comical. Finally, he turns back towards you, as if breaking some spell he was under. Well, that could have gone a lot worse. Can you explain to me what just happened here? She wants me to give her Larson. Sorry, y'all, I'm blazing through these. I'm so enraptured with this right now. Larson? Why would she want him? He's a primogen, remember? A weak one, but still. For a scourge, he's a much more valuable target than some no-name dustborn. It just so happens that a certain someone might have some dirt on him. He squints, rubbing the bridge of his nose. Fuck it. I'm heading back to the office. Need to put my feet up, get some blood flowing to the old noggin. You coming? Now those barks, if you guys can hear them, are my dogs. Seems they are awake and feisty. When your ex wants permission to kill your other ex. When the jealousy hits. You nod. Why the hell not? And so you make your way towards 5th Avenue. You've got a long way ahead of you and a lot of stuff to figure out. Although it's not your first visit, you still find it hard to navigate the dark, rust-ridden corners of the grain terminal. Luckily, this time you're with someone who could probably do this blindfolded, so you just follow his lead. As you're both climbing the rickety stairs leading to the mezzanine, you suddenly notice light coming from D'Angelo's office. A quick look assures you that no, he did not, in fact, leave it on. You bust through the door like undead Tango and Hooch, or was that Turner and Cash? It's Tango and Cash and Turner and Hooch. Ready to unleash holy fury on the intruders. You half expect an Anarch death squad or an SI hunting party. Instead, you get Larson, who nearly falls out of the chair when you two bust in. Well, look who it is. Missed us already? Hardly. Seemingly both intrigued and irritated by the surprise visit, D'Angelo walks over to the cabinet and pulls out a fresh cigar. Then may I ask what brings you, O venerable primogen, to my humble abode? Her. He points at the tiny shadow cowering in the corner of the room. To your astonishment, it turns out to be a very familiar face. The blood. No, not again. Please. Okay, bless her heart, but also her style is on point. Where the hell did you find her? Outside my front door. She must have heard me, found out where I lived. It's not uncommon knowledge again among the Dustborn. She probably figured I could help, but honestly, I have no idea what to do with her. I mean, I could turn her into the prince, but that's just another strike against my people. Then again, I can't just set her loose, not after what she did. Fuck, D'Angelo, you can tell I'm desperate if my first instinct was to come to you. No, Larson. I would attribute that decision to what's left of your common sense. He leans over to you. Hey kid, I think we should call it a night. Just give me some time to talk to the girl. Maybe I'll get through to her somehow. The sign. The sign! It's always there. Though I ain't holding my breath. She a thin-blood Malkavian? Bless her heart. God, that'd be even worse. Oh, man. I'm thinking about all the implications of a thin-blood Malkavian. Because, like... So, thin bloods don't entirely, like, have nothing to do with their clan. It's just, like, usually that becomes more of a storyteller designated thing, or, like, just character quirk kind of thing. My character, she is a thin blood Malkavian. Amazing! That is super tragic. Because you would get some of the effects of the Malkavian curse without really much explanation or much to do. Not really much Malkavian support. I mean, Malkavians take in Dustborns, but like, I don't know, life's just that much harder. That's kind of sad. Okay, continuing. Honestly, you're glad to leave him to it. Spending the night in a small room with a tiny serial killer somehow doesn't seem too appealing. Still, you're hoping D'Angelo will be alright. He's got some tough choices ahead of him. D'Angelo. It's sad. Okay, let's have some fun and go to Hope. When you reach the cafe, you're welcomed by the familiar face of the waiter who first led you inside. You exchange looks and nods. He hides the vape pen in his back pocket. Well, he's gonna sit on it and break it. She's been expecting you. Something happened to her car. She, hasn't exactly left her room ever since. He scratches his head, shrugs, and gestures at you to follow him. It's the same route as before. Have we seen this hallway before? This is unsettling. I don't recall, like, actually seeing the hallway before, but, ugh. Yeah, this is new. I don't like this. First beyond the locked door at the end of the room with all the computers, then into an endless gray labyrinth. Finally, you reach a door that would look like any other to a random bystander. Of course, by now you know that Hope's haven lies beyond it. The waiter bids you adieu with an exaggerated bow and starts walking back to the cafe. You enter the familiar room. This time, the lights are on inside. Hope is inside, walking around nervously, overseeing every screen in sight. When she spots you, she wastes no time on introductions. Kara Montgomery, what do you know of her? We have no clue at this point. No. You could have seen her in listicles such as Top 5 Badass Women in Tech 2018, 12 CEOs who spark innovation through empathy, or 20 entrepreneurs with mysterious ties to Jeffrey Epstein. You don't get to voice your answer. The question was just a minor courtesy. She has a monologue to deliver, and she won't allow any interruption. 20 years ago, she was a failed .com investor. Now she's CEO of Double Spiral, a brand management startup working at the crossroads of big data and influencer culture. The quotation marks are audible, dripping with venom. Long story short, she spent years convincing her Camarilla contacts, as in out-of-touch old farts angry about smartphones, that Kindred can benefit from controlling the internet. Her IT ghouls have done a lot of research of deepfakes, AI, and machine learning. Her goal is the ability to generate thousands of believably human online accounts. Basically, an army of posters that could brute force anything into the mainstream discourse. The elders took a while to get the concept, but eventually, Kara got their blessing. The thing is, she claims her tech is ready to be tested, but it needs one final component to work properly. And that's why she proposed a truce. Fuck her. This is the Brujah response. Fuck her. Took the words right out of my fucking mouth. But no matter how much I hate her guts, this is a blessing in disguise. Hear me out. She picked a public place in Manhattan, neutral ground where we can meet without the fear that the other party might be doing something stupid and violate the masquerade. She wants to just talk. You will go there in my place and listen to her terms. We won't accept them, of course, especially not after she tried to kill us. You'll just steal her voice and walk away. Steal her voice? What's next? Will you trade her mermaid tail for legs? A Disney joke? Sweet. What next? Will you hit me with a topical Harry Potter reference? I'm not trying to be obtuse here. Wait a second, let me explain my plan. You see, there's only one way to even the odds. We have to hit Kara where it hurts, and she's only got one weak point. Double Spiral headquarters.
Kara's the only person there with access to every room. The security is something she came up with herself, voice-based, but based on a different password phrase each time. That means just recording her talking is not enough if we want to get in. That's why I started selling illicit materials to people with access to advanced deepfake audio technology. I've got it right in this room, and now all we need is a sample base that will allow me to manufacture a bot that talks like her. To monitor data, I need to stay behind. Still, I think the plan is pretty simple. You talk to her while wearing a wire, I process the recordings here to steal her voice, and voila, she's wide open. Then, we invade Double Spiral and destroy it from within. The evil is defeated. I become part of your crew. Happy ending for everybody. How's that sound to you?
She wanted to talk to you. Why would she talk to me?
Yeah, she's too stuck up to talk to a total rando, but given an opportunity to get Sophie Langley's right hand on her side, she won't let it pass by. And even if you weren't a minor celebrity in this city, I'm sure a connection would have been enough to hear you out. Hope shakes her head and claps her hands. When she speaks up, she sounds different, more spaced out, stuttering. All right, let me fix you up with the hardware. She hands you a minuscule earpiece and starts attaching a small decorative pin to your clothes, along with some masked wiring. It's a directional microphone. I can clean up the audio later, but keep it pointed directly at Kara as much as possible. All right?
You put on the earpiece she gave you. It fits snugly deep inside your right ear.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
The hardware works flawlessly and the audio quality seems great. You give Hope an affirmative sign with your head.
Beautiful. Kara designated the meeting place as the Vessel. You've heard about that place, right? It's right by the eastern end of the Lincoln Tunnel. A giant pile of staircases, basically impossible to miss. Manhattan's answer to the Eiffel Tower, or a gaudy monument to being only ever so slightly free, depending on who you ask. I'd drive you there, but my car is still in the shop, and I don't want to risk being spotted by Kara's people, and I need to process the voice data from here. Which means I have a perfectly acceptable number of excuses for not letting myself get anywhere close to that demonic old hag. You involuntarily roll your eyes a bit. Hope sits in front of her screens, pretending not to have noticed. So, should we get this show on the road or what? Ready whenever you are. No sense lingering here. You get back to the street and find your car. Wrapping up this show as quickly as possible sounds like a good idea. Yeah, as we're passing 12:30, we should wrap this show up. We'll probably finish after the conversation with Kara. And then I'm gonna get some lunch. Around 30 minutes later, you're in front of the Vessel. Hope's description, a giant pile of staircases, wasn't particularly helpful. From a distance, the building looks more like a giant honeycomb designed to swarm with tourist bees. At least during the day, that is. At the moment, the place is closed to the general public. A few men who look vaguely threatening and out of place are making sure nobody unwanted gets in. However, you have no problem getting up the stairs. All it takes is an exchange of knowing glances with one of the guards. You are expected. A lone figure appears in your sight, staring down the streets of Manhattan. You know, city people often complain about being unable to see the starry skies, but I always thought the real tragedy was how they're unable to appreciate the man-made sea of lights that surrounds them. Also now cue our moderator Emily losing her shit for the rest of this conversation because it sounds like every tech guru BS we've ever heard. You can teach people a lot of things, but can you teach them to see? Huh? You recognize the face from Hope's phone. Finally, you meet Kara Montgomery in the flesh. She turns to you, puts on a wide smile, and shakes your hand with a firm grip. First, a representative of Sophie Langley. Now, a representative of Hope? Not the way I'd develop my own career, but I gotta say, not many neonates get around the way you do. Hardy fucking har. Hope speaks up in your ear for the first time, seething with contempt. Although Kara couldn't possibly have heard her, she immediately goes on to address her absence. Can't say I expect her to actually arrive here with you or instead of you. On the other hand, I'm sure every single word I say will be instantly relayed to her. And for the first time in forever, your empty blathering will serve an actual useful cause. So let me make sure we cut out everyone but the middleman for a while, okay? She takes out her phone and taps the touchscreen. In a few seconds, the barely perceptible buzzing sound in your ear disappears completely. You can't hear Hope anymore. It's probable she can't hear your voice right now either, which would mean she must be busy raging or cussing out everything in her sight at the moment. This obviously wasn't something she expected to happen. Could it be that Kara saw through your plan? You have to play it cool and see what happens next. Knowing Hope, you've probably heard whatever scraps could be Googled about me and a pile of insults for good measure. Obviously, I know everything there is to know about you as well, Chethany. I don't believe we have a need for formal introductions, but first off, let me apologize for my discomfort my former employee has caused you. I wasn't remotely aware of his planned actions against Hope. I fully condemn them. I'm glad to see you unharmed, and, of course, applaud your swift disposal of the psycho. Langley chose you well. Brief silence. So, let me cut to the chase here and present myself the best way I know how, through my ideas. Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Not much for small talk, is she? Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? We do. Kara raises her eyebrow. Now, that's a platitude if I've ever heard one, unless you mean us as in kindred. A monopoly is a bit much, but yes, we've been pretty adept at controlling the narrative regarding our existence throughout the ages. Too bad we've started slipping up recently. We were completely unprepared for the information era, and the existence of the Second Inquisition is a direct consequence of that. So many final deaths that could have been avoided. But unlike Hope, who decided to separate herself from this shit show and criticize from a safe distance without offering any solutions, I'm here to take matters into my own hands. She signals to somebody behind you. For a while you've been watched by Kara's men, who circle around the staircases, presumably her ghouls. One of them sets off downstairs. You know, Bolivia just had a military coup. Hundreds of new accounts posting about nothing but Bolivian politics in English, set out to convince every random person online that the US wasn't to blame. Sloppy work, if you ask me. Now imagine this. A 17-year-old K-pop fan from Ohio writing an entire thread about how her relative in La Paz are actually glad the president's gone. A film reviewer with a side interest in politics selling you a CIA-approved narrative about Evo Morales, an approachable fitness guy explaining the situation to you in simple terms, just like it is. Animated voice, expressive gestures, and steady eye contact. She taught herself how to project a good image, but isn't a natural yet. At times, it feels as if she's screaming at you to trust her. It's not hard to emulate the masses. Reach out to one of those Eastern European troll farms and bang! A few hours later, you have a clone army that will instantly voice their support for any cause. You'll spread your message, but you won't foster a new culture that serves your goals, won't masquerade your messaging as independent thought. For that, you need personalities, not the masses. But the ability to emulate personalities, a whole different ballgame. Not a craft, but an art. You need to understand your fabrication so deeply that you start to hate it and then learn to love it. If you want to make a bunch of those personalities follow one agenda, you need a once-in-a-lifetime team to achieve that. A like-minded artistic collective, both ambitious and obedient. Even though you can't hear Hope's voice in your ear right now, you could swear you can hear her in Kara's speech. It's the exact same tone she was using when monologuing in the car. One of them must have had a big influence on the other. Or perhaps they used to be in a position where they both shaped each other's personas. Hard to say. Only one thing is for sure. And that is, Hope must be absolutely furious right now. Is it possible that Kara knew about her plot? Fingers crossed she doesn't. The state is satisfied when an account that went unused for 5 years suddenly starts yelling imperialist propaganda into the void. The aging corporations are too set in their ways. But imagine a fresh start that enables the proliferation of ideas adjacent to the prince's plans for the future. Now imagine it getting into bed with the biggest corporations and agencies. So many unlives that could be improved or even saved from the raids of First Light. I have the infrastructure. I have the elder support. All I need now is a mastermind at the center of it all. Hope. Yes, Hope. She looks down and takes in the scenery below for a while. Then she points at her t-shirt, the one piece of clothing that clashes with the rest of her outfit. Sorry, y'all, slight headache in the back. You know, I'm a huge fan of punk. The leading idea of my company, Double Spiral, is to make everything I do a little bit punk. I'm all about clashing ideas. I'm all about disruption. You blink a few times in quick succession. Oh god, you think to yourself, she's that kind of person. You saw a lot of them in your old life. Another establishment asshole co-opting everything anti-establishment, blasting Fugazi while ruining lives via Excel spreadsheets. You might have punched a boss cut from the same cloth once. You collect yourself and escape from memory lane. Kara started talking about Hope, so you'd better listen. To me, Hope is as punk as it gets. A free spirit, fiercely independent, an eternal contrarian at odds with everything and everyone, developing her talents just because she finds it joyful. But God, does this girl need an audience? Not putting her talents to better use, rotting away, posting inane bullshit all the time? What a waste. I have built an environment specifically to develop her talents and let her become indispensable to our society. But she rejects it because of some idiotic hang-ups. I don't expect you to change your mind about me just because I keep yapping and yapping. I just hope you'll keep my perspective in mind and serve as the voice of reason Hope really needs right now. Now that I have had my say, how about we put our girl back on? She taps on her phone again. A quiet buzz reappears in your right ear. Five extremely long seconds of radio silence. I'm here. Keep talking. Don't worry. She should have heard everything. I just wanted to spare you an annoying commentary track while I introduce myself. Excuse me for a second. One of Kara's guards approaches to show her something on his phone. Hope uses the distraction to get you up to speed on how things are on her side. Yeah, for a second there, I was about to rage that the hag had just gotten the better of us, but hey. Go figure. She just wanted to take a piss and make Cheerios. The plan worked. I have a lot of data from her monologuing and some private sources. But the more we gather, the better. This display here says we need some more K letters. Could be useful. So don't beat yourself up about it if you fail, but if you get her to repeat something with K in it, that might improve our deepfake voice. Looks like Kara's done talking to the guard. Sorry about that. Looks like I've got to attend a sudden meeting with a Google representative shortly. Hope snorts. Not bragging, though. By the way, does anyone but Hope know about this little rendezvous? Your patron, any other companion, or maybe the Nosferatu? Oh, she was supposed to say that. That's weird. Okay. Nobody. It's just us. Should I have told anyone? Maybe. Maybe not. Just says a lot about your personality, that's all. Anyway, no offense, But since Hope's not here, I really have to rush. Honestly, I feel a little bit insulted that she set up this meeting and didn't even bother to show up. Oh, I just realized if I had said Nosferatu, she would have said Kaiser. Damn it. Insulted and suspicious, her tone of voice betrays her. She might have had some good instincts. Too bad she didn't trust them here. Still, out of respect for Langley, I decided to have this talk with you. To explain to you why I'm an asset to the Camarilla, and to explain why the elders need Hope by my side. What the worm brain hag here forgot to mention is that the elders don't give a shit about me. Even if you don't see it my way now, I believe I've sown some seeds here that might sprout in the near future. Double Spiral looks out for people who look out for it, is all I'm saying. But before I leave, there's one thing I really wish I knew. Back when I knew her, she was a different person, or different people, depending on how you look at it. Why does she fight against me so much? What's her motivation to resist so much? What's her motivation? Good question. She's never shared it with you. Answer whatever you want, but you better lie through your teeth. And B, get her to say V a few times if you can. It might improve a few shortcomings of our deepfake software. What's your answer? So didn't we say love last time? Let's try survival this time. Because she might say survival a couple times. Survival. Kara snorts. Spare me. If she wanted to keep pulling through, she'd have a much better chance by my side. Pride or spite would be far more believable as an answer. Should have told me you either don't know or don't trust me. Survival. V times 2. Good. Oh, we did survival last time. Damn it. One of Kara's people erupts with a theatrical cough. Kara gestures at him to calm down. I really need to go now. See you around, Chethany. She begins to walk down the stairs, surrounded by her guards. Once she's gone from before your eyes, Hope decides to summarize your mission. For the love of Christ, wish you could have kept her droning for a little bit longer. Turns out the T letter could use some improvements as well. Not complaining, though. You did good, and don't worry. The data I have should be more than enough to generate a convincing deepfake. I just need to put in some more work. So, I guess I will get to that right away. Enjoy the rest of your night. Drop my hardware at your haven when you get a chance. I'll let you know when we're ready to hit Kara's base of operations. Pray for my success, sweetie, and I might be done soon. Maybe even tomorrow. And once we're done with her, we'll talk about how I can repay your generosity. Amen! The connection drops. It looks like that's all for now. You gaze at the sea of lights around you for the last time and then start making your way back to street level. And that is where we are going to leave off for today. I really need some lunch. I'm sure you guys want to get on with your day. I will be back tomorrow with Bloodlines, continuing our Malkavian playthrough. And we're working on a few other things. The Lost Childer play guide is coming along. We're looking at some different avenues on how to get that out to you guys. And I really want to make sure that it's all perfectly balanced so that you can start playing a Lost Childer immediately as soon as you get the play guide. So, alright, thank you guys again so much for joining me. Take care, stay safe. Bye!